So, should I start the Camaro? Ready? If you guys didn't see my last video, I installed the Mazir electric water pump, my favorite mod ever. Along with that, to increase the cooling capabilities of my car, I will be installing this Mishimoto radiator. I've been wanting a beautiful aluminum TIG welded radiator in this car forever. This radiator should give me a 35-degree temperature drop from my stock temps. So if you guys just put this in and not with the water pump, it should drop temps by 35 degrees. In my case, I will hopefully be dropping even more in temperature because I'm putting both in. The best thing about this radiator as well is that it comes with a lifetime warranty, so it makes it a lot more worth the price, along with how beautiful it is. This is a direct factory replacement, so the install is quite straightforward, and you can reuse all of your stock radiator hoses, which I will be doing. To get this thing installed, I don't believe I have to take out my fans, but I'm gonna unhook my fans from my stock radiator, unhook all the brackets, and realistically, it should pop out if all of the coolant is flushed and you remove all of the radiator hoses from your stock radiator. You put everything back where it is and should be good. I noticed there's only two 10mm bolts holding the top end of the radiator, so I'm just gonna quickly loosen these up. Undoing the bolts from the fans to the radiator. Draining your coolant's the easiest thing ever. There's like a tab here. Okay, this might go everywhere. It's the easiest thing ever to turn. Is it good? Well, I'm underneath the car in a pool of radiator fluid. I made a little bit of a mess. I got the bottom hose. There's two bottom hoses on the bottom side of the radiator. There are 4 bolts. 2 bolts are holding the fan to the radiator. 2 bolts are holding the AC compressor, is it? To the radiator. And then there's 2 hoses on the bottom side of the radiator that connect to your engine block. So obviously you have to take those hoses off. These clamps are easy. Apparently there's a tool that Chevy makes to get the clamps off. You can just grab the clamps really hard and squeeze it with your mighty hands, and then a rainforest waterfall problem will happen. All right, I'll show you guys how to do that. This one's gonna be an explosion for sure. This is the big beefy hose. It's at least 2 inches. Oh my God. Oh, this is like, it's angled upwards.
Oh, where? Here it is. Oh my God, that was so
dry.
Anticlimactic.
It's dry.
Are you freaking kidding me, Kayla?
That's crazy.
Why?
Holy moly.
Why did we set up the camera?
Nothing came out. Oh, we did it though. So it should like come out, right? Oh. Hopefully this comes up now.
Slide the AC condenser up.
There we go. There we go. Oh my goodness. She's out.
It's leaking everywhere.
I'm sweating. That radiator's, it's 110,000 miles.
Can I take a screwdriver to it?
That's like all my memories. We should take a photo of the 2 radiators next to each other. It is time to get the Mishimoto radiator in the car. I'm gonna take off all these caps so I don't have to take them off while we're underneath the car. What's this? Oh, I see. The AC compressor like slots into it. This already looks so much better. I'm just gonna start kind of throwing on lines. These just pop in. For these, I'm installing these in first. You have to seat the radiator into the little areas for the rubber. The AC condenser was pretty easy. I just made sure that it was slid into the brackets, which that one isn't. You can see the brackets. Not really. These already have the locking rings in place, so you only have to push the little black thing on it. Mishimoto makes that super easy.
It was going on.
It's the only way to get it. There you go.
There.
I forgot to mention a couple things that you have to take off. There's these little radiator holders right here. They're a 90-degree angle. They don't bolt onto the radiator itself. It only bolts onto your car chassis. These are literally held on with a 10mm bolt. I'm just gonna tighten these back up for putting it back together. The fan shroud, I did put the stock fan shrouds back in this car. Mishimoto does not offer fan shrouds for the Camaro specifically. I just use all the stock hardware that you took off the Mishimoto and put those back. There's 2 bolts holding the 90-degree brackets, and then there's 2 bolts holding the fan shroud, which is really nice because there's usually more bolts for other cars that you have to reach in hard places. I'm actually gonna undo this one so I can put my catch can back. And if you guys are curious, this is what my fittings look like for the Mishimoto catch can. This is a custom bracket here. It's held on with this, a little hose clamp, and I did a 90-degree and a straight fitting. Well, I finally finished the installation for the Mishimoto radiator. Overall, it's a super simple process, unlike most radiator installations where you have to take off the bumper and all the plastic clips. This one, you literally pop the hood and just remove all the radiator hoses, take off the fan. I didn't even have to unplug mine and then put it all back together. I did take the car for a drive and everything performs perfectly. Be sure before you start the car to squeeze some of the radiator hoses after you fill up the radiator coolant. You gotta fill her up with some AMSOIL coolant. I got 2 gallons of pre-diluted coolant. You can get undiluted coolant and dilute it with distilled water, but it's just easier for me to get pre-diluted. So I poured that in using a coolant vacuum, and I actually ordered this kit off of Amazon. So you just use this, you simply just place it on the radiator cap in there, suck all the air out of the system, and then you put the line from the kit into the coolant container and suck in all the coolant back into the car. And then before you start it, I just leave the radiator cap off and squeeze any of the lines to be sure that there's no air in the system, because air will cause it to overheat since it won't let the coolant flow properly. Once your car has been idling for a while and that there's no overheating from what you could tell, it should be able to go. Just be sure to check back on your temps and any hoses, any leaks from coolant and anywhere in your system, because you don't want to be driving crazy and run out of coolant, because it's really important. But this radiator looks beautiful. It's nice polished aluminum in the engine bay. It brings all my other modifications together really, really nicely. And I didn't have to buy any other parts to make it fit. It was the easiest thing ever. In the next video, or in a few videos, I will be installing the Mishimoto oil cooler system. I'm just waiting on that to get a couple more parts for that, because my oil cooler heater is actually leaking in the Camaro. So should I start the Camaro?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Ready? I should be installing this Mishimoto oil cooler sometime soon, but if you guys are interested in getting a Mishimoto radiator for your Camaro or whatever car that you have, the installation process is super easy. It's easier than doing coilovers or headers in my opinion. If you guys need to replace any of your hose clamps on your car if they go bad, or if you want it to look better, Mishimoto also offers new warm gear clamps on their website, and they also do have a full radiator hose replacement. I didn't do that because I wanted mine to be subtle. I like the matte look on the stock radiator hoses. But if you're interested in any fun colors, I will also put a link down below for the 5th gen Camaro for replacing all the radiator hoses and clamps as well, if you're interested in doing that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you all have an amazing day or night, whatever time it is, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.